And asks, how will the tax system be fairer and more equitable for all New Zealanders from the 1st of October?
The Honourable Bill English. Point of order, is it? I beg your pardon, the Honourable Peter Dunn. My apologies. My apologies.
Thank you, Mr Speaker. Mr Speaker, in response to the member's question, the tax system will be fairer and more equitable in the following ways. By next Friday, the bottom tax rate will have fallen 30% in the last 2 years to 10.5 cents, and the threshold up to which it applies will have gone up considerably from $9,500 to $14,000. All intermediate tax rates will have been reduced and every income threshold increased, so much so that for nearly three-quarters of taxpayers, their top marginal rate will now be just 17.5%. And when the effect of working for families tax credits is added in, a family with 2 children will now pay effectively no tax at all until their earnings exceed $50,000.
Jonathan Young.
Supplementary to the Minister. Which groups gained most from the Budget 2010 tax changes?
The Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr Speaker, a very interesting question. 2/3 of the cost of the income tax cuts goes to reducing the bottom 2 marginal tax rates. That's for income up to $14,000, going down from 12.5% to 10.5%, and for income up to $48,000, reducing that marginal rate from 21% to 17.5%. And at every single income level, the increase in income tax, or the income tax cuts, more than offset the rate of increase in the GST. And a further important point, Mr Speaker, is that we are also reducing the top personal tax rate to 33% and aligning that with the rate payable by trusts.
Supplementary. Which groups will bear most of the cost of the Budget 2010 tax changes?
The Honourable Peter Dunn.
The cost of these cuts do have to be met, and the budget is therefore not a lolly scramble, and the increase groups who will pay more will in fact be property owners, large foreign companies with interest in New Zealand, people who use trusts to reduce their taxable income to gain access to working for families tax credits, and also smokers. For its own part, the government will be giving another $120 million to Inland Revenue to better prosecute cases, and we expect that to return around 5-fold over the next 4 years. When you put all these measures together, in response to both this question and the previous questions, this is overall a much fairer tax system for every single New Zealander.
Stuart Nash.
Thank you. To the Minister. How can the tax cuts be fair when they increase the wage gap between someone on the median wage and someone on $120,000 by over $75 a week?
The Honourable
Mr.
Peter
Speaker,
Dunn.
I don't think the member was listening to my earlier answer. The biggest point of fairness in this package is the fact that nearly three-quarters of New Zealand taxpayers after the 1st of October will face a top marginal tax rate of just 17.5 cents in the dollar. That is huge improvement on a position just a couple of years ago where that rate was over 30 cents in the dollar, and it certainly boosts our international competitiveness.
Stuart Nash.
To the Minister, how can it be equitable when the Minister himself will be better off by almost $140 a week, while someone on the median wage in his electorate will be better off by less than $5 a week?
The Honourable Peter Dunn.
Mr. Speaker, unlike the member, I'm not fixated by what I earn. The reality is that with 2/3 of the cost of this package being borne by the bottom 2 tax rate changes, the vast majority of the impact of the package will be beneficial for people on those lower income tax rates.
Supplementary.
Heather Roy.
Supplementary to the Minister. Will the final tax proposal outlined in his Making Tax Easier discussion document prevent workers who have been overtaxed through no fault of their own from receiving a tax refund? And if so, how is this fair or equitable?
The Honourable
Mr.
Peter
Speaker,
Dunn.
well, firstly, we're still consulting on that particular proposal. But the point at issue there is that by a better method of collecting tax from people through a greater reliance on electronic measures, we'll actually get the tax rate right first up, so there won't be need for the unders and overs square up at the end of the year. So I can assure the member that no one will actually lose out from that proposal.
Question number 5, the Honourable David Parker.
Thank you, Mr. Speaker. My question is to the Minister.